So let's move to the next part. So then we should know the symbols. Actually, this part also we learn in grade 6, but in case if you have not learned that, so I invite you to write the symbols also. So these are the basic symbols. Actually, arrows, I have to add some other arrows because arrows can point any direction, either left or right, or it can either point up or down. So all are acceptable. So all the directions, arrows are used for showing all the directions. Right. These are the basic symbols in, and also you have a question to write after that. So let's try to solve this question. First using the flow chart, that means the plan, and second by using the Scratch programming interface. First try to solve this problem by using flow chart. What is the problem? Draw a flow chart and write a program codes or code blocks to input two numbers and find the total and display. A simple one. So you have to draw a flow chart, right? And also write codes to input two numbers and find the total. Okay, writing code may be difficult for you because you have not done it previously. If you have done, you can do it and send the WhatsApp to me. Send a WhatsApp to me. කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඔන්න කෝඩින් කරලා ටක් දාලා එවන්න පුළුවන් flow chart එකත් ඇඳලා code එකත් ලියලා. If you have not done, don't worry, I'll explain. Finished writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how to draw the flow chart? Let me help. Those who can, you can draw along. Others, I'll help for the first time. Right. First of all, after starting, you have to enter the number 1 because you need two numbers, right? So then enter number 2. So this can be actually integrated. Someone can write like enter number 1, comma number 2 both. Then after that, you have to add them. Actually, that is a process. Entering number 1 is input. Entering number 2 is another input. Adding them is a process. Adding number 1 and number 2. Then print the total or display the total and finally end. So this is how you draw the flow chart. I think you have clearly written the question. And after that, you can write the answer. Okay, the challenging part is creating the code that I'm going to do in the other corner. How do we create the code for this? That I'm going to do it here. Okay, let me erase everything. You can click and drag to the code inside. Or you can press the delete key, or you can click and drag to the code inside. It will be deleted. So let's move the cat here to a visible area. Okay, first of all, you have to enter the number 1. Actually, you have to display that message. To do that, first you have to go to the events. When you click the flag, you have to tell the user to enter number 1. You have to go to the looks. Oh, and no, sensing, sorry. You have to go to the sensing and tell, ask, enter number 1. So then when you click the flag, cat will ask a question, enter number 1, and he will give a space to write the answer for the particular question. So we can give the number 1. Right? So that is the first thing that you have to do. When you click the flag, enter number 1. And so we have to save that. We have to save that number 1 in the memory. අපි මේ number 1 එකට දැන් 45 දුන්නානේ. 45 දුන්න එක කොහේ හරි save කරගන්න ඕන. To use that, we are using memory and variables. Right? So let's go to the variables and create a variable. That variable name should be number 1, NO1. And Here you can see the variable. Variable is actually memory location. It is number 1, memory location number 1. We have to fill that number 1 here, set number 1. We have to fill that number 1 with the same sense in answer. Sense in, you have something called answer. You have to fill that number 1 with answer. Okay, let's click the flag and see. When I put 45 and press enter, you can see now it is saved. Okay, let's do this one. If you have any difficulty, you can ask. You can share the screen and ask. First, enter number 1 and wait. Then set number 1 that you have taken from the variable. Make a variable. Variable name is number 1. Then set number 1 to the answer. From actually, you have to fill that with the answer. I hope you have done that. So then we have to do the second thing, similar to that. Ask, what is your name? That you have to change, double click and change it to enter number 2 and wait. Then from the variables, let's create another variable that is number 2. Okay. Then set number 2 to the answer. Now you have enter number 1 and wait, enter number 2 and wait, and you have the answers both. First one number 45, second number 78. Now both are saved. Now it's time to operate, find the answer. From the operations, you can add them. What do you have to add? Number 1 and number 2. After adding number 1 and number 2, you can save the answer to total. Let's create another variable called total. Set total to number 1 plus number 2. Set total to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, that is how you find the total. Let's run it now. First number, second number. Now you can see the total. It is added. Okay, now we have to display that to the user as a nice message. To do that, we are going to looks, say, and then you can tell what you have to tell from the variable, the total. Okay, this is your first program. It's number 1, number 2. You can write any number and you can find the answer. Again, number 1, number 2, answer. Again, big number, another big number, still it's giving the answer. Right now you can see it's adding any 2 numbers. It's adding any 2 numbers. Have you done this? Or do you need any help? Is it working or not working? Hello, are you there? Denuri, have you done that?
Yes, sir.
Finish working?
Yes.
Arisa, is it working? Okay, she's silent. Okay, I'll ask from another one. Liansa, have you done that? Is it working? Again, Liansa, are you there? Yes, Ali, which screen you need, Pute? This one. Quickly take a screenshot, yes, Ali.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, Ali, have you done this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it working?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sandaru,
Yes, sir, I have done.
Mauli, have you done that? Is it working?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, it is working, sir.
Right. Let's add the voice guidance to this to make it more interactive, because today we don't have time to learn the second one. I'm going to add the voice narration, right? Voice guidance. So we can make it a voice එකක් දාලා බලමු. To do that, you can use the add extension button in the corner. හරි. මේ corner එකේ තියෙන add extension එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. Here. When you click the add extension button in the corner,
Sir, can you use Sketch 2.0 offline editor?
yeah, sure. But you have to add the extension, right? But I prefer Stretch 3 because the version that symbols will be different. Right? Prefer Stretch 3.
Okay, sir.
Please download that if possible. And there
Okay, sir.
you can see the text to speech one. Right? When you click this one, then you can see the text to speech. Here, the purple color one. I click that and get these voice narrations, right? So then I can voice over it. How? I can speak and tell, speak, enter number 1. And the second one also I can speak and tell, enter number 2. And also you can tell you have entered and then the number. After getting the answer, you can say you have entered and then you can tell the answer. Actually, to do that, we need another operation that is called join. You can say one side you have entered, the other side you can tell the answer, that is answer, sorry. Or you can tell the number 1 also, that is also. You have entered number 1, that you can tell here. Right? You see how I'm doing that, right? Then enter number 2. Then again, I'm speak and telling. Oh, everything duplicated. You don't need this part. Enter number 2, and after that I can tell you have entered this time number 2. You have entered number 1, enter number 2, you have entered number 2. And then the final total, you have to speak that. And you can tell it in this way. Speak. And you can join actually. This time join multiple. Join. And you can say, join first one. Okay, let's add few joins. Join, join, join. Then you can say, the first one is number 1. It's a longer one, right? Number 1 plus, then the number 2. You need another join. Sorry, another join. Don't think this in a complex way, right? I'm just showing you what can you done. Number 1 plus number 2 is then the total. Few joins. Okay, let's run this. First one. Okay. Here actually you have to tell this before the message you have to tell, right? Small change, sorry. You have to tell this before the message. Here the second one also. You have to tell this before the message. Okay, let's see now.
Enter number 1.
Okay, I'm going to enter that.
You have entered 67. Enter number 2. You have entered 88. 67 plus 88 is 155.
This should be plus, right? Let's try again.
Enter number 1. You have entered 56. Enter number 2. You have entered 77. 56 plus 77 is 133.
Okay, now you can see the voice narration also. Right? Okay, take a screenshot. Right? Take a screenshot of this and try to do this at home. But I think already some of you have done this. Very so congratulations to them. So they have wrote their first program, I hopefully. So others who haven't, who couldn't do this, so you can take a screenshot of this and then try to do this with the voice, because this is a voice enabled one. And finally, after doing that, you can save this even as a web page. I'll tell that next day how to save this as a web page and use this as a web. You can send it to friends there. Okay. So you can use file download, save to your computer to save this program for the moment and download it by using file, save to your computer. Next day, I'll tell you how do we save this as a web page, right? So let's take a screenshot of this and add to the note. Okay then, good night. Let's see all of you in the next week. Stay safe, okay? Good night, bye.
Good night, sir.
Thank you,
sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Um,
Good night.